So it turns out it's not that my father didn't want to have anything to do with me, he didn't even know about me in the first place. The story I 17F got told at 14 was that my dad wasn't my biological father, he was the man who married my mom after I was already born, and basically my mom and dad thought at the time I deserved to know this because a few people in our environment kept saying how I didn't look like him and I was asking them if I was maybe adopted or something. Yeah, I know. Very little was spoken of the man 36M my mom got pregnant with, but the basic gist of it was that he didn't care about mom being pregnant, didn't want a child in the first place, and then she didn't want anything to do with him any further, so she cut all contact, no child support because my mom's family is well off. I won't bullshit you and say I wasn't hurt, but I got over it quickly enough with the help of my mom and dad. Sadly, mom and dad got a divorce last year, just felt like they didn't love each other that way anymore, I guess. They're still good friends with each other though, no drama, for which I'm grateful. Still, this sort of prompted me into thinking about my biological father lately and I ended looking him up online. Dunno what I expected to see really, but he's just normal, I guess? I might have been thinking he'd have this kind of a whole look to him because of how he rejected me before I was even born. Anyway, one night after drinking more than I should with some friends on a night out, I did a stupid thing and sent him a message, basically accusing him how he's horrible, evil, and other less polite words, because of how he abandoned me. Next morning, after I actually remembered what I did, I see his reply to me. It's polite, but confused and he has no idea who I am or how I'm supposed to be related to him. I had my dad's last name, saying in the end that I probably got the wrong person, and wishing me the best. I don't know, it just pissed me off, even though I was sober and a bit hungover. So I fired up several paragraphs to him about who exactly I am, who my mom is and what he did to us. His reply came in the evening and it was quite extensive, but I'll sum it up for you. They broke up with each other, on bad terms, after they were together for a little over a year. She never mentioned any pregnancy to him and when he tried to contact her later afterwards, because he felt like shit how it ended, she rebuffed him and blocked him and that was the last time he tried getting in touch with her. Needless to say, me being pissed off at him was gone in a flash, and now my father was the one angry at my mom for doing this. I was wondering how to talk to my mom about what I found out, but I didn't have to bother, because my father contacted her first and confronted her about her hiding me from him. We're getting to know each other slowly, mostly over the internet, though we talked a few times over a video chat, because he doesn't live in the same country as us. It'll be time soon enough to meet IRL and I'm nervous like hell, but by all accounts and the way he's talked to me, and held back on sharing me with the rest of his family, I think I'm going to like him a lot. Why the fuck did she do it? She says she has no idea why she really did this, blames it on pregnancy and stuff, but I don't see how the pregnancy could have influenced her for my whole life. I love her, but there's times when it's just the two of us and I can't help but hating her for denying the both of us a chance to know each other as I grew up. I can tell my father is hurt about this, though he doesn't talk about it directly. And my mom probably can guess how I feel, given that she just starts tearing up at times she sees I'm angry or being curt with her. I'm split in half, happy when I'm talking with my father, but mad like hell when I talk to my mom after. I want all this to get better, but at the same time, I want her to hurt. What do I do now? Update. I found out why she told me the lie that my biological father didn't want me. It's maddeningly simple and stupid. She was basically getting to know my dad, her now ex-husband, and he wanted to know about my father's involvement in our lives. Put on the spot, she made out this ridiculous story about how he didn't really care for having a child, they didn't keep in touch and over the years it evolved into a fucking theater play, which is what I got years down the line when I asked about my father. My dad, I guess, didn't want to put salt on wound, so he just avoided that subject in the future, until I asked about it. That's it. That's the whole reason why I didn't know my father for my whole life up until recently. No, really. Because she didn't want to look like some spiteful, crazy woman who neglected to tell someone they're a father, she made this up. Which is some bitter irony for her, because she does look like a crazy and spiteful woman with the lies she told about my father. I am so mad at her. I can still barely control my anger around her. All I want to do is hurt her until she feels really hurt like I was when I found I missed out on knowing my father all along and him getting to know me as well. I restrain myself more often than not, but goddamn, this isn't something that's going to be just pushed to the side. I don't know what we'll do, and I know that sometime in the future I'll probably re-establish having a good relationship with my mother, but right now, it's just not happening. But on the brighter side of things, I met my father. Some people mentioned in the last thread that I should be careful how, when, and where I met him. Someone thought I would be flying out of our country to meet him, I think. But given how everyone that knew him back then and now had nothing but good to say about him, I connected with my father's side of the family, have plenty of cousins, aunts, uncles, and so on to talk with and meet. And it's a bit overwhelming just how many of them are there and how overjoyed they were to find about me. I gave him a few dates when we could meet and he picked this last weekend. He flew back on the Friday, visited his parents, my grandparents, and man, that's so weird, how I have another set of grandparents to the whole mix, and then we met up. I really don't know what I was expecting. I mean, yes, we talked and he seemed very understanding and kind and good and so very interested in meeting me, but I guess there was just that fucked up fear of him not liking what he actually saw and leaving. No, really, thanks for this shit, Mom. It didn't matter in the least. As soon as we met, there was just this moment, I don't know how to describe it, I don't really think I ever had anything like that before and he just hugged me and I could feel him shaking. I think he was holding himself back from crying, and I started crying for no real reason and then we talked and just spent the rest of the day together. We pretty much spent the whole weekend together. From the moment I got up we talked and by the time he was boarding his flight I didn't want him to leave ever again, and he won't, not really. He wanted to know everything about me, and I literally mean everything. And I guess what really made me actually love him is him asking to meet my dad, asking me if that was okay with me, and then thanking him for his part in raising me. They talked some more with each other while I was busy with something else, and I think they became sort of friends. I don't really know what to call their relationship. So to all of you who helped me deal with my fucked up situation, thank you, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Even if it seemed like I was just venting out loud on the internet, thank you. Thank you all. Except those 1 or 2 people who thought my father is a rapist and an abuser. Seriously, WTF?